to this episode of Season Day Scholar, Season 3. We have been following Professor Ray for from the first season, and somehow the time has come. And now today we have with us Professor Chittaranjan Ray, who is permanent director of the Nebraska Water Center. And he is also by training, he is a civil engineer, and he did his PhD from University of Illinois. And he has been a thorough profile where he has been chief environmental engineer at University of Hawaii before Nebraska, and he also worked after PhD at Illinois State Water Survey. He's someone who is really at the top of bridge of quantity and quality, which is very much important for water security. Because nowadays, just an expert of quality or just an expert of quantity perhaps will not work. And he has a lot of work in India also. And so welcome to this show, sir. It is very pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Manish.
Tell me, what do you like to do when you are not working on research or administration?
You know, these days I'm listening to a lot of music. These are, you know, Odia, it's a kind of, I don't think you guys know much about Odia language, because one time it was told it's not a separate language. But the medieval part of the Odia, the only thing I wish I would have done this, learning the formal way to understand our Odia ragas or Odia talas. So from the 17th century onwards, 17th, the 200-300 years, a lot of writing. Actually, the Odia, there are two Odia Ramayanas. The Odia Ramayana of Sarala Das, that's even older than Tulsi Ramayana. And there is another one called Jagamohan Ramayana, or they call Dandi Ramayana. There are 5 Odia Vaishnavas before Chaitanya. They were in Puri. So Balram Das, that was the person. And the Bhagavat was written by Jagannath Das. So those things will be hard to read, but I think I'm more interested in the music part of that. The most famous Odia poet of the 17th century is Upendra Bhanja. So he had 50 some odd manuscripts. I think some dozens of them are still missing now. He was a prince in a small kingdom and all that. And it's just mind-boggling of the language, the style. That there is a book he wrote called Vaidesa Vilasa. It's about Sita, basically. The entire every line starts with the B, Ba. So the mastery of the language, the singing style and all that. So same thing. His grandfather, Ghumusar Kingdom, that Dhananjay Bhanja, he wrote a Odia Kabya called Raghunath Vilas. So he said, then this grandson wrote it, and he said, this is my response to you, Vaidesa Vilasa. So same thing, so those are the things. We have something in music called Champu. Champu is more a Sanskrit type thing. I don't think, I have not seen in other languages in Odia besides Sanskrit. So Kishore Chandranand Champu. So that's why, so these are kind of things these days I'm putting a lot of time to understand. There is a sect of people in Odisha. It's more recent that in the 1860s, when there was a famine, so this group, the poet who wrote it, they're called Olek. Olek is like a separate religion. They don't believe in idol worship. It's like a empty temple. It's called Sunya Mandir. So these are folks, sometime you can look into that Olek Mahima or Mahima Dharma. So these are the folks, but they are also heavily influenced by the poverty, because these are people lower caste or tribals. So Bhima Bhoi they call him saint poet. So I'm listening to those things these days. So trying to understand, but my limitation is that understanding the proper way of how they are sung, the ragas, the talas. The dance part is good, Odia dance is good, but then you have to understand the tala part or the raga part. So those are, So those things I'm doing.
Dance is a little bit more complex than the
Yeah.
music.
Singing.
So, and in order to enjoy dance in the full, you have to understand music.
Yeah. Because we have, all these things. Puri temple, they had these Devadasis or Maharis. They call Mahari dance. So yeah, these are difficult ones, classical Odissi. But Odissi, the dance part is okay. But I'm interested more on the medieval literature or these books written by these saintly poets like Bhima Bhoi, who was a tribal poet. He was a by caste. He said, "I'm Kandha." Kandha is one of the tribes of Odisha. So that's what he say. In ending the stanzas, he will say Bhima Kandha. So all those things. So
Okay.